Alright, so we're in Module 2 and we're talking about how to use Diigo. So you should have already watched the overview, created a new account, and then followed this link, which takes you to this page, to show you how to install this little Diigo button right here. When I click on that button, you'll get a window or a little drop-down menu that pops up. You may have to hit sign in and use your username and password. So mine was my email and my password, and then once you do that, it'll log in and then you'll be able to use the Diigo features. This pretty much is just a little quick tool to get to here. So that way if I'm on a web page and I see something that I like, I can click on the Diigo tool and then I can choose highlight, or I can choose bookmark, give it a title, specify how I'm going to share it, maybe with a group or it's just private. I can give it a description. I can also tag it with keywords, so that way if I can't remember what the title was, I can just search keywords and it'll come up with the tags. And then your list is pretty much your list of folders. So any folders that I've made, I can also drop this specific page into one of those folders, depending on maybe what class it's related to, or just whatever folders I've made. And then you can hit save. So after you've gone ahead and added the Diigo toolbar by following this link, you should be clicking on this video, which is what you're watching now. So now I'm going to show you how to make some folders, bookmark, highlight, and notes. So first off, click on your Diigo and then click on Diigo right here and go to My Library. When you do that, it's going to take you to your Diigo homepage, which is where all of your stuff is saved at. And you'll see your lists. Lists pretty much are like folders. So it's very simple to create a new folder. All you have to do is hit add with the little plus sign in list. And I'm just going to call this test for collaborative spaces. You can specify whether it's public or private. The other way that you'll know it's public or private is if you see a lock. So you'll notice all these are private and this one's public. So you can go ahead and do that. I'm going to hit cancel for right now, but once you create it, you'll see that. And you also see a number associated with each list or folder. That represents how many web pages you have saved inside of each one of these. So for example, if I click on architecture, you can see that I have 2 web pages that I've gone ahead and saved into that folder. Let me go to the blended learning one. You also notice sometimes that there is this icon. What that represents is some highlights that I've made inside of that web page. So if I click on that, it will take me to that web page, but you'll notice that there are no highlights. In order to bring up the highlights, I just click on the Diigo tool, and as soon as I do that, there are the existing highlights that I've made to this article, along with the sticky notes. So any notes that I've gone ahead and added with this as well. The other thing that's really cool is if this was a newspaper article, you'll know that, or you should know that newspaper articles online often go missing after a while. The newspapers get rid of them. The thing that's cool about Diigo is it archives the article, so I can go back to this article 2 or 3 years later and it's still there with my highlights and sticky notes. So that's how you can create folders and also kind of navigate through your Diigo page. So how can you bookmark, add highlights and notes? So let me just go to Google and let's just type in and I'm going to just click on this first one and let's go to here So let's pretend like this was an article that I wanted to highlight and save some information in. I'm going to click on the Diigo Toolbar. I may have to log in if I haven't logged in yet. And I'm going to go to Highlight. You'll notice that there's a drop down and then you can specify what color you want. So I'm going to just stick with the yellow. And I'm going to click Highlight. And you'll see the highlighter icon next to your cursor indicating that you are highlighting. I let go and then it's highlighted. I can also add a sticky note. And I can type in information. And hit post. And you just may want to move that sticky note to where you want to put it. And then after you're done with all that, you're done highlighting and adding sticky notes, you can hit bookmark. And then you can rename the title if you want. Give it a description, specify how it's going to be shared, add keyword tags, and also specify what folder you want to drop it into. And you can hit Save Bookmark. You can also choose to share it maybe with a link or Twitter or by email if you'd like, and do a mass email through your TAC to all your students. And then if you've also watched the collaborative space portion video, you know that you can create an actual group. So I'm going to go back to Diigo here. You can go to My Groups and you can create a new group, maybe specifically for each class. You can give it a name, so I'm going to call mine Collaborative Spaces. You can give it a description. You can give it a category. You can specify who can view it, so I'm going to do private, so it's only our group members for collaborative spaces. And I will leave it searchable. How to join, I'm going to do by invitation only. So what that means is you will be receiving an email once I know who's in the class. And if this was a classroom situation, all you would have to do is go to your TAC and get the classrooms for the students' emails, and then you'll be able to drop them in. And then who can invite new members, I'm going to do only group moderator, which is me. And then all you have to do is type in what you see in the text box, and then you can create a group. And then once you hit create group, you can go to the newly created group, or you can invite people. If you hit invite people, you just have to type in their email addresses. So what we're going to do is you're going to get an email for this group. And if you take a look further down under the Padlet expectations, you're going to find out that you're going to have to add in resources into our Diigo group. So for example, you're going to have to add an article to this group and a video link to our group Diigo page. In the article, you will also be doing some highlighting and taking notes, but you'll learn a little bit more about that once you get into the Padlet. But I wanted you to know how you can create this collaborative space for you and your students, and we're also going to go through kind of that same scenario with this next Padlet expectations part of Module 2.